Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of TIS Hitters. This is Series 11. My name is Kurt Conley. Hope you're all doing very well today. Mr. Nissen, how are you today?
Doing well, Kurt. Doing well, and yourself?
Hey, good, mate. Friday, end of the weekend. Time to get out of the office for the weekend. I'm ready to rock and roll.
For sure. Same here. Same here.
So, first of all, as always, we always jump into the disclaimer for the content that we cover in these videos. Not financial advice. You guys are all subscribed to TIS. You guys know the rules. You are all familiar how we run this. Moving straight into the weekly hits. This week, we talked about Serum at the beginning of the week on Monday, and we talked about BAT. These are the two tokens that we're covering on the weekly hits. The entry for Serum was 6,600. Current set value is around 5,970 recording this video. Current change is 9.1 in the negative. However, the high since the entry was called on Monday at 6,600 was up around that 11.1%. BAT 1,230 was the entry. Current set value is 1,320, so we're still up 7% from the entry. The high was a 21.7% move. So it's two good trades that we captured there this week, Rev.
Yeah, that really cool trades. Glad we made at least 10% on both, which is really awesome to see because it's hard to get that just by looking at a whole list of Tisping. So yeah, pretty happy with that.
Quick synopsis on the market at the moment. Bitcoin's obviously causing havoc everywhere. I think we needed to have that little bit of a breather there. Still
Yeah.
quite optimistic that we'll push through that 20 grand. I mean, the chart that we've been showing in Discord, we've been talking about on Facebook. It's that long-term chart that we posted since the 1st of January 2020. We still feel like we're in that range. So anything you wanted to add to that, Rev?
Yeah, just we had that chart, and if you really look closely, where we feel like the topper would have come was between 19.5, which is just below the all-time high for Bitcoin ever, and about 26.5. And I know it's a big range, but really we were looking at like 22.5, 23. But just to give it that leeway of about 5% each way, we had that in the range. So it feels like we've touched that. Now we're going for the move down. Personally, myself, it's a long shot. I've got a fill order at 12.2, and I've got a fill at 14.1 as well. So I'm not too sure if it will ever get there, but it's a long shot. 14 sort of thousand range is probably something that we want to be really keeping an eye on. 14.2 to about 15.5. I mean, we did fall to 16.3 or something like that, but it's just not enough, and that will conclude the cycle that we have right after that topper going up, and then hopefully everything comes down and then we start to move. And also, if you really paid attention, we've mentioned this a few times, Kurt, is every $10,000 will have $1,000 extra daily swing. And we saw at $10,000, we have $1,000 candles. At almost 20,000 USD, we had a $2,300 daily candle, like from top to bottom, from high to low. So, expect that to be a continuous sort of trend as well, with a little bit of a compound upwards as well, because the higher it goes, the more volatile it's going to get, because you can just see how little the liquidity is going to end up being, because nobody is going to want to sell it once it explodes through 20,000. Who the hell wants to sell it? Because you know what I mean. Like it starts to become a really scarce sort of thing to be holding. I mean, it's 21 million BTC out there. Who knows how much who has, and so little for the majority of people as well. It's gold is nowhere near that from a supply and demand point of view. So just keep your eyes on that and be very wary of what Bitcoin wants to do. I mean, it just dropped $500 in the last hour.
Yeah, crazy.
You know.
I still think we'll see Bitcoin shortly at 20 and above, and let's hope that the time's not too far away. But yeah, obviously there's some action going on in the market.
For sure.
So today, we're not actually going to talk about a couple of TIS hits. Usually we'd go through 2 or 3 potential trades. Today, we're going to hold off from doing that. There's not many that's actually really come through. We are just going to quickly recap on the importance of the sells and the buys. We do have a quick little graphic here that I can just quickly run through. That talks about the durations of the trade. So always remember, for all the newcomers as well, short-term trades, they trade and the range is between 2 days and 2 weeks. Okay, it can be sooner. We have seen trades come in and then within 48 hours, they look like they're cooling off. Medium-term trades, 1 week to 1 month, and the long-term trades, usually 1 month to 4 months. So just always remember to keep an eye on those. And also, we do find that a lot of people put so much significance on the buys in the short term. you got to look at the sells. You have to look at the sells. We've had a huge amount of sells come in recently, and I'm going to get Rev to just quickly pull that up in Discord and just quickly show that. But yeah, guys, you've got to keep an eye on the sells as well. Everyone's just always so zoomed in on the buys. The sells are just as important.
Definitely, and I'm going to go through that right now. And like you said, like you mentioned, a lot of people focus on the buys rather than the sells. But the buys through TIS are pretty powerful as a metric as to where the majority of the market is going. If you see a lot of sales coming in, you take that opportunity because it's potentially that the market is going down. TIS tries to follow trends, which is really cool, but sometimes it does get it wrong as well. So there's nothing out there that is 100%. And I haven't seen anything anyway, but maybe there is that we don't know about. But we'll go through the short-term sales. Now, we don't cover the sales through TIS hitters because we just feel like everyone it should come down to you, at the end of the day as to where you're happy with the percentage, because everyone's so different. Everyone has their own set of, I guess, expectations. Maybe some people are happy with 5-10%. Maybe some people are happy with 20. And we've seen a few 20%ers in this last sort of move as well, Kurt. Would you agree?
Yeah, for sure. Yep, totally. Yep.
And we've caught a few TIS hitters, so that's really cool to see as well. But let's have a look at quickly just at the significance of the sell. So I'm going to scroll up a little bit here and let it load. Yesterday. So yesterday, before the fact. So before Bitcoin fell, before the whole market went bearish, yesterday, probably about maybe 4 or 5 hours prior to it actually just starting to move down and tanking, TIS gave us about maybe, I think it was like, we counted 37, 38 short-term sales, Kurt?
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, about that one.
There it is. That's the last one. And then yesterday at 11 p.m. after the fact, it pinged even more sells. So there's those ones there, and probably a bit more. And then today as well, we've had a few come in just then. But if we look at the short-term buys, there really wasn't much. There's 5 there. There's probably about 7 there. And there's 4, and then 2 and 1 on the 24th. So that kind of was giving us a hint that, hey, I mean, you can see it. It's almost counting down. There's 3 short-term buys. There's 2 short-term buys. Hey, there's only 1. It's like, oh, damn. TIS is going, oh, shit. Hold up here, guys. Everything's sort of done its move. Let's chill out here. And then I only had a few on the 25th, couple there, and then a few more on the 25th, and then the 7, and then 4 now, or 5 now. So if we look at the medium term buys as well, very little. There was just one AVE which has moved an extra, I think, another 4 or 5% above this. There was 2 on the 25th and nothing on the 26th. Nothing. No medium term buys. So before the market went downwards in a downward trending cycle, TIS said, there's no medium term buys here, guys. Nothing at all. We're not looking at any. But if you look at the medium term sells, we had quite a few come in. You can see that's all in one day. That's a lot. That's a lot, and that was
the
today.
Last time we seen, and the last time we seen something like this, Rev, was when we were talking about a significant sell that came in, and that was against Wi-Fi. I think it was sitting around 33,000, and we got these sells come through, and I mean, people were buying Wi-Fi around 32,000, and TIS was calling it as a sell in the short and the medium, and it pulled back to like 12, 13,000 or something like that.
I believe it went even lower.
Maybe lower.
Yeah.
I think it went under 10, right?
Yeah, I believe it went up to 10, half a Bitcoin.
Yeah, but when the notifications came through, it moved real quick, similar to like this Bitcoin move. That everything in crypto is so volatile, so these things happen really quick. So I think what Red's saying here, and what I'm trying to emphasize is, don't ever underestimate the sells that come through. Yes, in the beginning of the week we had the long buys come through, which is significant, and it's obviously talking about something completely different, but always keep an eye on the sells.
Yeah, the different metrics give you the different ones, like short, medium, and long. They're different, and that's why we showed you guys that thing. They're not limited to what we've said there. Like a short-term trade is 2 days to 2 weeks. So this is what I'm talking about here. Once again, guys, 2 days to 2 weeks right there. But it's not limited to. It can take off straight away. It can never take off. So, but it's never limited to that as well. Longer term trades are a longer time frame, but they're giving us a perspective of what to expect. So we had 2 times where long-term trades, in the last 2 times consecutively, it's pinged quite a lot. Long-term trades, and they're mostly bullish. There was only like 2 bearish out of 50. And we did mention on the last one that give it another week and let's see what more TIS has accumulated in the long-term side of things. Is it still going to be bullish? Is it going to give a bit more bearish stuff? And that will give us a better picture as well. Now, Bitcoin obviously isn't cooperating, and it's jumping up and down as it usually does when it wants to wreak havoc. But yeah, it's you know, you need to be careful of Bitcoin as always, because trading alts is a free tier system. You have dollar and Bitcoin, which both affect it, and then the SAP value of that altcoin. So, and I know that that altcoin has a dollar value as well, but really at the end of the day, the only thing moving that metric is Bitcoin and the dollar, nothing else. So yeah, so I guess what we're trying to say is just pay attention to the medium-term sales. So yeah, that's pretty much all the recap that I've got there, Kurt.
So no trades this week. This is Friday's TIS hitter video, and we will not be talking about any trades. Just want to recap on that. We feel that the community just needs a little bit of a refresher, and just to emphasize how important it is to look at the sales. So we will move on to the next part of the video, which is the secret token, lucky token, whatever you like to call it. This is something that we've done in the past. When we first started Cryptofy, we talked about OGN. The second one was banned.
Yeah.
And today we're going to release the third one. But before we do, I just want to emphasize that it's not like you're listing or jumping into an ICO and everyone's like rushing in, trying to climb over everyone these days. You know, like you hear like uni listings and stuff, like people losing their minds and stuff over those sorts of things.
Paying thousands of dollars in fees for what?
Yeah, right. Like it's just mental. You know, this is these particular tokens that we look at. These are things that we look at from, you know, an over time perspective. You know, we look at this from a fundamental, tokenomics and a price point technical analysis. So this particular token we're looking at from the same perspective that we looked at OGN and we looked at Band. Okay, still good tokens, those ones. We're still like trading and holding those particular tokens. They're not something that we just buy and just get rid of.
No,
like these things that we hold on to and look and you know, we follow it. So this is the token that we're going to talk about today. So Rev, do you want to hit that one?
For sure. So it's Venus, and there we go. Oh my God, I'm lit up. I'm lit up, Kurt. So Venus XVS is something that we're looking at. There's a few key points that we're looking at it, and Kurt's going to run through those things as well in a second. The main thing to really be paying attention to this is who it's working with, like who's working on a project, where it is actually listed and why it's listed there, and also the circulating supply, and pay attention to where those sort of distribution is happening as well with it. So like Kurt said, don't jump into this and go crazy. Go research it, go do your own thing, and make a decision as to where to buy it. Yeah.
Yep. Once again, we always say this is not financial advice. This is just, you know, what we're doing, some potential recommendations here. So Rev, while you pull up a chart, you know, what is Venus? Decentralized finance, so DeFi, it's a hot topic on everything at the moment. This is a money market platform on Binance Smart Chain, and this enables digital asset lending and generation of synthetic stablecoins. The current market cap when we were generating this video was around 19 million. 24-hour volume is around 8 million. Circulating supply is extremely low. It's around that 6 million mark. CoinGecko does have some different analytics on that, but the data from CoinMarketCap is 6,300,000. Total supply is 30 million. It's a couple of the highlights. The project had no pre-sale, and nor did it have any private sale. The team has no token allocation. Do not hold me word for word for that. I have not done deep dives on anything like that. Rev, I know you and I could discuss this earlier on this morning, but
Yeah.
the team has no token allocation. This seems very, very unusual to me.
Yeah.
However, that is the information we're getting, and that's the information we're pulling from that.
There was another team that did that, and that was Raven, I believe, but they were
Correct.
able to mine it. So that's a different story here. If there is no team allocation, that is a bit, yeah, it's different for sure.
Very. 1% of the supply is reserved for Binance Smart Chain ecosystem grants. And the other thing that's really bullish to me is the remaining 23 million tokens will be gradually unlocked over a period of 4 years. And that happens when people use the Venus protocol. So like to have this like slow trickle release of tokens is an incredibly bullish factor for me as well. So Rev, we're going to get you to jump over into the charts and just do some TA. The token has not been around for a long time. So you know, the TA is still like a little bit in the dark, and there's not much data together, but we can just do the best we can with what we've got.
Definitely, yeah. No, the token is very immature from a technical perspective, 100%. It's mostly from a tokenomics perspective at the moment that we're really picking up anything, and a fundamental perspective as well as to, you know, and we're looking at the numbers of, you know, how many tokens there is and what's actually circulating and what teams are working on it. And we're talking like Binance, you know, BNB Smart Chain. It's always a good thing to have Binance on your side, no matter what you're doing, because they are the leading exchange at the moment. And people can say otherwise, but they are. So, and then the Swipe team as well, working on it as well, is really cool. So if we look here, we got XVS, just under 17,000 sats right there, 74 BTC volume, and a dollar perspective, it is at $2.86 USD. Let's look at the price change, 11% in the last 24 hours. This went down from 18,000 or something to like, I think 14,500 sats. Yeah,
low 14.
That's about where it did drop to. And if you look at the volume change, it has dropped off. It was at 140 or so, and that's only because of Bitcoin and what it's doing in the last 24 hours. Buyers percentage is at 6.92. And these numbers have just clicked over, but they were looking really good in the last 24 hours and the 12 hours. And from a 60-minute perspective, you can see here Bitcoin's at 16.8 at the moment. So that's probably what's done it in the last maybe 2 hours or so. You know, really hovering everything else and everything depending on BTC. And we look at tokenomics here. We do know that CoinGecko only is saying 3.7 million circulating supply, but we know that it's a bit more than that currently out there. And the total volume, $8.1 million right now. Rank on CMC, on CoinGecko, sorry, 378. The market cap just under 11 million at 10.5 mil. $2.83 as we go. And $7.14, October 6th was the 2020 was the high at $7.14. So let's bring up the chart for this really quickly. There, like I said, there's not really much besides a pretty significant line that we can draw. Let's bring up the daily here. And let's just draw that line for everyone. So what we said before as well, guys, don't be jumping in this like crazy. Please just, you know, take your time with it. Check it out. There's no rush. No one's running after you. You know, it's not really, we're not saying it's going to blow out like crazy. And we saw that with Band. You know, we spoke about it when it was 2,500 Satoshis. We spoke about it when it was 3, 5, 11, 20, but then it went back to 11 and we said, hey guys, this is a perfect opportunity to get in here. And it fell to 9, it went back to 10, it went to 11, 12, and then it just shot out. So take your time. It's not just going to go crazy, okay? And don't be jumping in it like crazy people into it, because this is, you need to really think about it. So there's that crucial line right there. And I believe that was at about 14,500 sats, which is where it dropped to just on this Bitcoin last dip. Now, if Bitcoin was to go ape shit crazy again and start falling again, excuse my language, but if it does, and it does go, you know, this may see lower lows, like, you know, under that 14.5, that line there. But just keep an eye on that, and that's the most significant line. But if we can get a push out, especially with the liquidity, liquidity really at the end of the day, in a low circulating supply, this thing does can have some really crazy fuel. But then also in counteract as well, because there's less, you know, when it goes down quicker. When it goes up quicker. So just keep your eye on that. But yeah, this is pretty much all we can really see on the charts. There's really not much on the 4-hourly. I think the MACD does need to cross the 0 line right there. And you can see it at the moment, currently, it lost that 100-day MA line there as well, which, you know, it only really just started to form, and it was under, it went over it, it bounced off it and took off. And that's really essentially what we want to see. It came down under and it bounced on that line and fell. Now we want to see it push it, bounce on it and push again. And this could potentially, be really, really lucrative. God knows how long it will take. How long did Band take to really move?
I mean, Band's been a decent trade. Obviously, it's cooled right off now, but it's been a decent trade for at least, you know, a good 8 weeks, right? Like, so there's been some, you know, really profitable times to get in and out of Band. So as always, guys, you got to trade at your own risk. You know, that's why You got to make your own decisions, and you know, we're just pointing things out here.
100%.
One thing I think it's important to announce, Rev, is the two winners who actually made the calls on this particular token this time around. So
Yeah.
the two winners were. Can you just remind me again, Rev?
On Discord, it was Tommy Coy, and
Yep.
on Facebook, it was Mike, which is Mike08 in Discord. So you guys
Yep.
are the winners, boys. Congrats.
Congratulations.
You smashed it. Tommy Coy was like all over it. He just jumped straight in. He was like, XVS. And we're like, what? I remember.
Do you know what? I looked up Tommy Coy in Discord, and actually I chucked in XVS, and he'd been talking about something like around the 10th or something like that.
Yeah.
So he actually identified it. And another guy, Lee, was talking about it as well a couple of weeks ago. I think they were talking together. So yeah, congratulations to you guys. We'll reach out to you guys and hook you up with your prizes for getting the secret token. And there is another one that we're looking at, but we just can't do it just yet. We're just not ready. We're just not ready for it. It's like super early. We were looking at it like really late last night, and we will just have to see what happens. But I think, like, you know, this is something that we want to do on the regular. It's like fun, it's enjoyable, but also we're all here about the gains and the profits as well. So we're always looking for some really good trades, and we enjoy trying to find these things for you guys.
For sure. We definitely have to make sure that we're looking at them properly and taking into consideration, and make sure that you guys understand everything as well, from your perspective and your responsibilities as well. But yeah.
Yep. As always, the TIS Hitters videos get dropped to our subscribers first. So if you're not subscribed to TIS, please head over to CryptoStat, sign up for TIS. It's really easy system to use. There's a great community in the channels. You guys talk about trades, and you guys all get together and suss out some trades. These videos get dropped on YouTube a couple of days after we've dropped it in the TIS Hitters channel. So if you want to keep up to date with them and be on time with them all, please subscribe to TIS, and we look forward to seeing you guys on the inside. Until then, next TIS Hitters is out Monday. Mr. Nissen, have a good weekend. I look forward to seeing you again Monday.
For sure, man. Take it easy and take care, guys. Cheers.
See you guys. Bye.